Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
And there they are outside enjoying this absolutely gorgeous weather. I'll show you why our temperatures are going to be up near record highs for the next several days.
And sewage system capacity. This problem is stalling development in Durham. What leaders are doing to fix it.
Senate hearing struggle. What we know about the North Carolina man in the middle of all of this. Well, today is the beginning of a series of days with highs in the 80s. I ain't mad about it. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Lovingood.
You can't help but smile. I'm Laura Levine in for Renee Chu. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. And Elizabeth, why are we so close to record highs and how long will this last?
It's all about the wind shift. Our wind is now coming out of the south. Earlier in the week, it was coming out of the north. And because we're changing seasons, we still have really cold air to the north and pretty warm air to the south. So it makes for a very big change when we see those winds shifting. Take a look here downtown. This is a look at Dix Park. This is the Gibson Play Plaza. Lots and lots of people out there. Spring fever has struck. It is 73 right now. Our winds are southwest at 16, and the stronger those winds are, the more warmth comes in. So we're looking at a high of 81 degrees this afternoon, right around 3 o'clock. Our current temperatures are in the 70s. It's 70 in Apex, 71 in Garner and Knightdale, 70 degrees in Fuquay Varina. These temperatures are just a little bit warmer than yesterday, anywhere from about the same to as much as 5 to 7 degrees warmer. And it is the first day since October 18th that we're going to see high temperatures in the 80s. So our first 80-degree day of 2026. Around town this afternoon, again, 81 in Raleigh, 81 in Durham, and 82 in Fayetteville. But with the southerly wind, we're going to have a string of days of highs in the 80s. But we're also going to wrap up the weekend with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. We're going to talk about what we're going to expect in terms of hour by hour and how to plan around it for the weekend. And the drought monitor has come out. We'll talk about how the rain is affecting that too.
Okay, Elizabeth, thank you. Development in East Durham is at a standstill because the sewage system is at full capacity. WRAL Investigates broke this story last month, and today, city leaders will discuss the issue at a public work session for the first time. WRAL's Monica Casey is live at City Hall right now. And Monica, this puts a lot of projects on hold.
It does. Hundreds of housing units are stalled, waiting for a fix, and it's possible that might not be coming for years. Now, some exceptions will be granted to allow development in the affected zone before that fix that's estimated to happen in 2029. Today's presentation says 12 of the 20 projects have found a resolution so far. WRAL investigative reporter Sarah Kruger interviewed Durham's city manager about why this issue wasn't caught sooner.
A new process to improve our modeling so that we could catch problems sooner. That new process identified this problem.
Now, it's not just the sewage system in East Durham. This presentation shows 2 other sewage systems are 5 to 10 years away from full capacity as well. Updating the system that's already full could cost $30 million, and updating the other 2 could be $45 and $20 million more. This work session starts at 1 o'clock. Live in Durham, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
I'm Kirsten Clark in the WRAL Live Center. We're staying on top of the latest developments happening in the war on Iran. Want to bring you one of the latest updates we have here. Just 13 minutes ago, around 20,000 Americans have left the Middle East. That's according to the U.S. State Department. They say nearly all of them made their own way out of the region without government assistance. Again, that's according to the State Department. The department saying it is arranging charter flights and for private citizens who want to leave. And the first of those flights departed on Wednesday. Several more were expected today, although officials did not say from where those flights would depart. Of course, we know that others are still stranded in that war zone there in the Middle East. We'll continue to follow as we get more updates on those flights and evacuations out of the war zone.
Certainly will. Thank you, Kirsten. And we wanted to learn if military service members here in North Carolina would be deployed for the war on Iran. U.S. Senator Ted Budd offered the press a chance to ask him questions via teleconference today. And when asked if those stationed at Fort Bragg, Camp Lejeune, or other military installations could be deployed, Budd said President Donald Trump should have a range of options. But the senator offered this caveat to that answer.
We don't have an appetite for forever war. President Trump doesn't like forever wars. He doesn't like the way that things were managed in Iraq and Afghanistan. So you can expect the president to get this done as quickly as possible.
Senator Budd also said it's too early to tell what's next for Iran, but he echoed sentiment from the president. It's up to Iran's people. And actually, to get you a little bit more on this, breaking within the last half hour, President Donald Trump told Axios Iran's pick for its next leader is, quote, unacceptable. Iran's Assembly of Experts is set to formally announce its new leader today, Mojtaba Khamenei. He is the son of the most recent Ayatollah killed in the U.S.-Israel war on Iran. But some Iranian leaders warn against what they call hereditary leadership.
Well, by now, you've probably seen the video of the disruption on Capitol Hill during a Senate meeting. It turns out that the Marine veteran involved in this altercation is from North Carolina. We're talking about Brian McGinnis, who is also a Raleigh firefighter and Senate candidate on the Green Party ticket. So WRAL's Elizabeth Holmes has been looking into this. And Elizabeth, he's now facing charges because of this.
Laura, that's right. McGinnis has been charged with assault on a police officer and resisting arrest. And you can hear the 44-year-old yelling in that video that has now gone viral. He's saying no one wants to fight for Israel as Capitol Police drag him away. It appears his hand actually got stuck in the doorway at one point. McGinnis said on X today that he broke his arm in that altercation that you see on your screen. Now, he posted on social media that he was going to the committee meeting because he wanted to speak out against the war in Iran. He's shown opposition to Israel in the past, particularly about the conflict with Palestine. Now, Capitol Police said McGinnis and 3 Capitol Police officers were injured during that incident. There's now a GoFundMe that's raised over $50,000 for his medical care. The organizer said at this point, McGinnis is still in the hospital.
U.S. gas prices are the highest they have been in 11 months, and prices are climbing as the war on Iran restricts oil supplies. AAA says that a gallon of regular now averages about $3.25. In North Carolina, it's $3.04, and in Raleigh, the average is $3.09. Wholesale costs suggest the increases are not yet over, though. Just a reminder, you can stay up to date on our War on Iran coverage on the WRAL YouTube channel. We're tracking efforts by U.S. airlines to get Americans out of the Middle East. This morning's remarks from President Donald Trump and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Like and subscribe while you're on our channel.
Well, the iconic road through North Carolina's Outer Banks has become increasingly prone to flooding. Today, state lawmakers discussed what can be done to keep Highway 12 more reliable for the tourists and locals who rely on it. This narrow highway that is a huge connector for Outer Banks communities will continue to face threats of storms and erosion, and officials say it's in a bad spot. It's 2 miles long, and since 2015, 13 contracts totaling almost $18 million have funded dredging, sandbag installation, and roadway reconstruction.
The island is moving a lot. Erosion rates change. It's complicated down there as far as real solutions, and they're costly as well.
Since 2015, storms have caused nearly 200 days of lane closures, which officials say is impacting the Outer Banks' $2.2 billion economy.
The Raleigh mass shooter who killed 5 people in 2022 was moved to solitary confinement at Central Prison. Records show Austin Thompson was moved, and we have reached out to the Department of Adult Corrections asking why. Thompson will spend the rest of his life in prison after shooting up Raleigh's Hedingham neighborhood in a nearby greenway. He killed those 5 people when he was 15 years old, including his brother and an off-duty Raleigh police officer.
Well, next at noon now, a Phoenix plane crash. A closer look at the moment a plane went down into a neighborhood and what we know about the injuries.
Plus, severe flooding aftermath. How one homeowner in Mississippi says she managed to escape danger before it was too late.
An ICE office in Cary, what we know about a reported expansion of immigration enforcement as people demand answers from town leaders.
Coming up next, sea storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive Dual Doppler 5000, sponsored by the WRAL Weather app. Download now for live radar.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, you're taking a live look at a massive 4-alarm fire where crews are responding at a warehouse in northwest Miami-Dade. This is near the Florida Turnpike. You can just see the warehouse engulfed in flames as these large plumes of black smoke are rising into the air from the scene there. You can just see just how damaged that warehouse is from this fire. It is not clear at this time how that fire started, but we, of course, will continue to take a look at this live picture as crews battle to put those flames out and bring you more information about this fire as soon as we have it.
Kirsten, thank you. 3 people are recovering from injuries after a small plane crashed into a Phoenix neighborhood. Pay attention to that top left side of your screen there. New video shows the moment the small commuter plane crashed into 2 homes. Crews say the pilot reported a mechanical problem shortly after taking off and was headed back to the airport at the time of the crash. 2 people on board were injured, as well as 1 person on the ground.
The pilots were already out of the cockpit. They were walking and, able to walk on their own, but they were definitely disoriented and bloody. The fact that they could walk away from that type of a crash is a miracle in itself.
Several homes were evacuated as precaution, while hazardous materials crews contained a fuel leak.
An Arizona teenager rescued after a truck hit him, reunited with the firefighters who helped save him. A truck hit Ziad El Suhimi while riding his bike to school, and the now 14-year-old was pinned beneath the truck. When first responders arrived, he was in critical condition, then rushed to the hospital, and a local newspaper even reported he died. But here he is, 7 months later, walking and talking as a high school freshman.
After this experience, it's made me realize the beauty of saving lives, and I would like to do it to other people.
He says that experience gave him a new sense of direction that he hopes will one day help him become a doctor.
Well, U.S. mortgage rates are below 6% for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah, and as rates drops, Americans may be considering possibly refinancing their mortgage. Jen Sullivan explains what you should consider before you do anything.
Mortgage rates are starting to come down. For the first time since 2022, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate fell to 5.98%, according to Freddie Mac. So if your rate is higher than that, should you think about refinancing?
I typically tell people that you need to have at least 1% or more in terms of the gap between what you have and what you could have.
Stephen Cates with personal finance site Bankrate says home buyers whose 30-year fixed mortgage is at 7% or higher may be good candidates for refinancing. Even a small change in your interest rate can save you thousands of dollars a year depending on your loan. But he says you really need to look at how much you'll be saving each month with a lower rate and what it's going to cost you to refinance, because it's an expensive and timely process.
Your new mortgage, your refinance, even if it's with the same bank, is essentially an all-new loan that pays off the old one.
There may be multiple fees associated with refinancing, like all of these closing costs. Bankrate estimates it typically costs you between 2 to 6% of the new loan amount. So if you're refinancing a $300,000 mortgage, it could cost you between $6,000 to as much as $18,000.
The lower you can get, the easier it's going to be to see those savings in real time.
Kate says you don't have to refinance with your current lender. And because of that, he suggests shopping around for the best rate. And make sure your credit score is good. The higher your score, the lower your rate.
If you have a financial planner, make sure you talk to them first, right? Honda is recalling more than 65,000 vehicles over a software glitch that can block important safety features. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says this issue can cause gauges like the speedometer to stop working. And in some cases, the entire instrument panel can go dark. That includes warning lights and even the rear view camera display. Customers will be notified on just how to get this free software update.
WRAL's 5 on Your Side will help you sort out legal questions that you may have for free. We're teaming up with the North Carolina Bar Foundation for their annual For All statewide day of service. Hundreds of licensed attorneys will be available to take your calls and questions, from government benefits to criminal charges, traffic violations, or even bankruptcy issues. Get your questions ready for Lawyers on Call. The line will be open Friday from 10 a.m. till 7 p.m. You can call 919-891-9779.
The water is receding this afternoon in parts of Missouri, but this is what some residents woke up to this morning. Park Hills saw 4 inches of rainfall in 12 hours, and one homeowner says first responders had to wake her up around 3:30 in the morning, helping people get to safety.
A little bit before 4, I heard some weird noises, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. I looked out the window, and I seen water everywhere, so I opened the door, and there was like boats coming through. Went out the back door, and there was like water all the way up to the back door pretty much.
Now, no injuries have reported, and certainly hope everybody's able to recover safely from that. And Elizabeth, some people may be watching that going, oh, well, I'm glad that's not coming here. Well, the system is coming this way.
We're probably not going to get that 4 inches, but yeah, by the time we get to the end of the weekend, that system rolls into our area. We still need the rain, but we're starting to see some very minor improvements with our drought situation, and we're going to take a look at that like right off the bat. We are looking at warm temperatures today. We climb into the low 80s, and that'll be true all the way through Saturday at least. And then our next rain chance really rolls in on Sunday. There's a slim chance Saturday, but the best chance will be with the front, which comes through late Sunday and then may stall and linger into Monday. Here's what's happening right now. High pressure system sitting offshore, rotating clockwise, is feeding nice warm air excuse me, into our area. Thank you. And then this front back to the west is what's creating all of the flooding back into Missouri. It'll be a slow mover. This high pressure system is going to keep it to our west until we get into the weekend. And we'll get into that a little bit more in detail coming up in our next half hour. We want to talk about the temperature right now. Here's a look at downtown Raleigh. Look at all the people that are outside. I can't remember pulling up this Jimmy V camera and seeing this many people just standing around enjoying the weather in quite some time. The tables are out. You can see people eating lunch and just enjoying the beautiful weather. We do have slightly breezy conditions. Our winds are out of the southwest at 16, but it's that southwesterly wind that's bringing all the warmth into our area, and we should make it all the way to 81. Right now it's 73, so almost 10 more degrees by the afternoon. That southwesterly wind is steady at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, but we're gusting to 24 up in Roxborough, 16 in Southern Pines, and 21 in Rocky Mount right now. So it's a little bit on the blustery side, but again, that's what's going to push the warmth in. Once we get to sunset, temperatures are still in the mid-70s. It's going to be a great evening to get out and walk the dog, go on a stroll with your family, eat your dinner outside. Still 67 degrees at 9 o'clock. Well above average temperatures. 60 is our normal high, and we'll be in the 80s for the next 3 days and close to the 80s again on Sunday and Monday, even with that chance for rain. A couple of days are going to come close to record highs, and you can see who else could see record highs. Really all of the deep south, all the way up toward West Virginia. For Friday, tomorrow, our forecast is 83 and their record's 82. So that's probably going to be pretty easy for us to break that record. In Fayetteville, the forecast 84, but the record's 86. So we'll be close to it. Then we kind of flip that. We'll likely tie the record on Saturday in Fayetteville at 84, but we may be 3 degrees off of it on Saturday in the Triangle area. So these, of course, are our first 80-degree days of the year. If you look past around the last 5 years, the average was February 27th. But if you take into account the last 75 years, the first averages on March 18th. We're still looking at very warm temperatures going forward. Much of the country will see above average temperatures for the next 10 days. And you know what that means. Our tree pollen is already high. I haven't seen any of that yellow pine pollen just yet, but with 3 days of highs in the 80s, we have a good chance of starting to see the yellow mess out there. But a lot of other trees will be producing pollen as well. This is the way it looks. We tend to really see it ramping up toward the end of March, and it peaks in April. So we will have a long road to go there. Coming up, we're going to talk more about the weekend and our chance of rain so you can plan around your outdoor events.
Okay, pray for me and my allergies. Thank you, Elizabeth. Well, coming up tonight on WRAL News at 4, construction underway. Crews are working on Red Hat Amphitheater's relocation project. We'll show you the progress being made.
Plus, preparing for allergy season. New climate data shows warming temperatures are extending pollen season, which is why on WRAL News at 5, how long this could last. Well, we want to show you right now the Dow Jones not looking too great, down 891 points, kind of fluctuating between those two there. And off camera, it looks like the S&P 500 is down about 65 points and NASDAQ down 161. And while all this is happening, the prices of oil is going up. And of course, this is some form of aftermath of what's happening over in the war in Iran. We'll keep on watching to see how this number improves or possibly gets worse.
Yikes. Okay, Chris. Well, we have something fun to talk about right now. Admission is now sold out to Art in Bloom at the North Carolina Museum of Art. And this year's event takes place March 18th through the 22nd. So joining us now here live in studio to talk about the 5-day floral fundraiser is Valerie Hillings. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Obviously, Art in Bloom is just such an exciting event. Each and every year, so many people look forward to it. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration for this year.
Well, we love how joyful that event is, and we could all use that right now. We, yet again, have over 50 floral designers who are going to do the theme Written in the Stars. It is a combination of great responses to the art in our collection. And our theme this year, as the title would suggest, is the Zodiac.
The Zodiac. We love that. Why was that theme chosen?
Well, one of our longtime designers whispered in my ear at the end of last season, and she said, "What do you think about that?" And I love it because everybody has a Zodiac sign.
Yes.
Everybody can relate to it and get involved. And so I look forward to seeing all the selfies.
Shout out to all the Capricorns. How many designers participated in this year's event?
It's going to be more than 50.
Wow.
And we've done, of course, the arrangements on site, but we are also doing pop-up events where other designers are participating.
What is it like to really see kind of the vision that everyone has in their mind come to life?
It's so inspiring. I love the ones for the collection because I find I see the collection works in a totally new way. I see works that maybe I haven't noticed lately.
Right.
So to see the way they look at color, they look at form, and their true artistry, it is really remarkable.
It really is. It really is. And knowing that this is the 12th year of the event,
Yes.
So many years where we've seen so many different themes, so many people get involved. What can we expect this year that might be a little bit different?
Well, as I guess, in addition to the actual theme, there are more platforms than usual, so you'll have a few extras. This year, also, we have some great workshops, a little different than the past, even floral vase painting.
Oh, that's cool.
And then some great food opportunities, too, because that is our other art form. So a chance to do a 12-course reflecting the Zodiac dinner, or our Celestial Garden dinner, or the Art of Tea in Bloom. So people love to come have afternoon tea while they think about which floral they're going to vote their people's choice.
Yes, and although we get to enjoy this event, a lot of people may not know that this is for a good cause too. So tell us a little bit about the fundraiser for Art in Bloom.
Absolutely, thank you. The North Carolina Museum of Art is fortunate to have the North Carolina Museum of Art Foundation that supports our programming, our exhibitions, our outreach, and this is our biggest fundraiser of the year. So every dollar raised is going to support the work we do in our museum and across the state.
Yeah, keep the arts alive here in North Carolina. Thank you so much, Valerie, for being with us here. And again, you can find more information about the event on WRAL.com. Chris?
Say it again, Laura. Support the arts.
Yeah.
All right, Carrie, ICE concerns. What residents demand from town leaders at tonight's State of the Town address. Plus, we do have a look at your winning lottery numbers right here on your screen.
We're staying on top of breaking news in the WRAL Live Center. Just minutes ago, Sky 5 was over Hillside High School in Durham. We'll take that video there. We learned from the Durham Public Schools spokeswoman, Crystal Roberts, that there was a fight between two students involving pepper spray. An EMS was called to the school. You can see an EMS car there, a vehicle there. And we also saw a video of EMS actually on the scene. You can see them there. It looks like they were interacting with might have been students there, attending to them with any possible injuries or anything like that. So we're still working to learn more information about what actually happened and unfolded with that fight, if there were any injuries, who was hurt. We'll bring you more of that information as soon as we have it.
Okay, Kirsten, thank you. There are reports that ICE may be operating out of an office building in Cary, and some residents are concerned about this. Those concerns could come up tonight at the town's State of the Cary address. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains how we're working to verify those reports.
Today, we could learn more about plans for a building here on Regency Parkway in Cary. Now, this building already has tenants, but talks of a new ICE office coming here are causing concerns. Wired magazine was first to report nationwide ICE office expansions. WRAL has not independently verified that. When we searched the General Services Administration's database, we found a lease at the building listed for 25,000 square feet that began in October. A rep for the building's management company could not tell us if ICE was using the space, only saying the lease was for office use and nothing more than, quote, attorneys in suits. We reached out to the GSA for more information, but we haven't heard back. A Town of Cary rep said in a statement that federal agencies have independent authority and will operate in ways that do not require local rezoning or municipal approval. Cary's mayor posted on social media saying the town has not received any requests or permits from ICE and that the town doesn't have the authority to stop them. Activist network Durham Resistance is asking people to join the Q&A session that's scheduled to happen during today's State of the Town address that's scheduled to start tonight at 6. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Cary.
In about 30 minutes, Durham leaders are expected to take a closer look at the future of a historic community there. The City Council will get an update on the Fayetteville Street Corridor project in the Haytide neighborhood. Leaders will discuss what's being done since the city approved $10 million for revitalization there. And they're also set to talk about what's next for the historic African-American community. Today's session starts at 1 p.m.
And today, Chapel Hill Carrboro School Board members will discuss the possibility of closing at least 2 of their elementary schools. WRAL's Ali Katlabar tells us about what the board says is to blame in this decision.
It's really a decision between closing one or more schools or cutting staff. And today, the board is set to finalize its list of school closure criteria. During last month's meeting, the board said this is a decision based on financial issues and declining enrollment. The district even saying that one cause of the decline is fewer young families moving into the area. The superintendent says they need to find $3 to $7 million by the spring, and to do that, they found the best option is to close at least 1 or more schools. So they identified 5 elementary schools to choose from: Ephesus, Estes Hills, FPG Bilingue, Glenwood, and Sewell. Now, board chair Reza Jenkins says this is their only option.
Not a fight of don't close my school. It's like we have to close 2 schools, full stop. And we need the community to understand we have to do this. This is really hard and it's really sad.
At last month's meeting, many people did speak out about closing 1 or more schools, specifically citing their specialized program. Now, the board is set to meet tonight at 6. WRAL will be following the outcome. Reporting in Chapel Hill, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
A man was hurt in a stabbing at a hotel off New Bern Avenue in Raleigh this morning. It happened at the Raleigh Inn just before 3 a.m. Raleigh police say the man who was stabbed is expected to recover. Officers identified and interviewed 2 people of interest. At last check, no word yet on any arrests.
Football fans are remembering legendary college coach Lou Holtz. The Hall of Famer was known for Notre Dame's remarkable national championship in 1989. He also transformed struggling teams into winning programs. Here's NBC's Kaylee Hartung.
When a team led by Lou Holtz took the field, they were always prepared to win.
You've got to know where you want to go. You have to set a goal, write it down, and believe it.
Throughout a coaching career that spanned more than 4 decades, the College Football Hall of Famer cemented his reputation as a motivator and program builder.
I wasn't a great athlete. I'm not particularly talented or good looking, so I had to start at the bottom.
At each stop along the way, Holtz implemented his plan and focused on the basics, never more famously than when he fulfilled his childhood dream of leading the University of Notre Dame, taking over the decorated program in 1986 that had fallen on hard times.
It goes back to basic fundamentals: how to block, how to tackle, accepting your role, being held accountable, and have fun at Notre Dame.
He started a timeless tradition, the now iconic sign, "Play like a champion today." And in just his 3rd season in South Bend, Holtz rebuilt the Fighting Irish into an undefeated powerhouse, winning the national championship.
He was a better man than he was a coach.
One of the best players he ever coached, Heisman Trophy winner and future Pro Football Hall of Famer Tim Brown.
You always knew when you were in his presence that, good things were going to happen because this guy has said you could do it. And if Lou Holtz says you can do it, then doggone it, you can do it.
After a final stop at South Carolina, an opportunity to coach with his son Skip, Holtz spent the rest of his career as a broadcaster, injecting his energy, quick wit, and sharp analysis into ESPN's college football coverage. And this morning, the sports world paying tribute to an icon. Current Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman writing that he admired the values Holtz used to build the foundation of his coaching career: love, trust, and commitment.
Above all, love one another. I mean that sincerely. Every great team is where you care about one another.
I'm Kirsten Clark in the WRAL Live Center, where we're following right now a procession. This is Sky 5 over I-40 heading from Durham to Raleigh. And that procession is for fallen trooper Stephen J. Perry. Perry was killed, in a wrong-way crash on the Durham freeway this past weekend. And we showed you a procession earlier this week where he was being taken from the medical examiner's office through Durham. But now this procession is taking him from one funeral home to another. Now, the funeral itself is scheduled for next Wednesday, and we, of course, will bring you more information about that as soon as we have it. But this right now is on I-40 eastbound. It is closed right now for that procession, and of course, we'll continue to follow this as they reach their destination, that other funeral home for fallen trooper Stephen J. Perry.
Kirsten, thank you. Next at noon, trapped in the rubble, a massive retaining wall crumbles on a car with a man inside. The response to save his life.
Plus, drowsy children. The new study that looks at how much sleep children are actually getting and how this affects caregivers too. For news, traffic, and weather of the day, make sure you download the WRAL News app. You can watch WRAL News live anytime on WRAL.com or the WRAL app on your streaming device.
Welcome back. You're taking a live look over the DBAP this morning. You can see the turf is covered there. We thank you for watching WRAL News, available on YouTube TV and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
A Canadian tourist is accused of stealing and abusing a flamingo at the iconic Flamingo Hotel and Casino in Vegas. Police say that he broke into a flamingo habitat and then injured the birds before taking one with him. Officers say that he could be heard laughing on security videos and saying, "I'm taking it home," while the bird cried out in distress. The man faces 4 counts of animal cruelty, and the bird is recovering with the help of veterinarians.
Shaken up but alive. Police say a man is lucky to be alive after a 40-foot retaining wall collapsed onto his car, trapping him in the rubble. Emergency crews responded to the 911 call within 3 minutes and found the vehicle buried. The driver managed to pull himself out to safety. No one else was hurt. Crews believe the collapse was caused by the recent snow there, thaw, and refreeze. Despite the damage, a housing inspector says the home nearby is structurally stable.
The National Sleep Foundation released new data today, and it shows nearly half of American children are not getting the sleep they need. Nearly 80% of caregivers said their own sleep suffers when their child doesn't sleep well. Experts say sleep in the early childhood stages plays a critical role in both physical and mental health and helps shape sleep habits later in life. Doctors say that consistent bedtimes, calm bedtime routines, and limiting electronics before sleep can really help. Pedestrian safety improvements. It has been 3 years since no right on red signs went up at downtown Raleigh intersections. That happened after a state employee was killed. WRAL Investigates looks at the new data to see if any progress has been made.
And a legal victory for the owners of a camp where 27 people died. A judge ruled Camp Mystic can open. What the camp has to do before that happens.
After a state employee was killed walking in downtown Raleigh, there have been some improvements made. WRAL Investigates Sarah Kruger wanted to know if they're actually making a difference.
Walk sign is on to cross Fayetteville.
These no right on red signs are one of the physical changes that have happened in downtown Raleigh since that state employee's death. And here at WRAL, we wanted to know if all of those changes have made any impact. So I requested from the city of Raleigh how many pedestrian crashes they've had downtown over the last several years. The data shows a significant dip since the safety improvements started back in 2020. Still, people who work downtown stay on guard. Have you had any close calls?
Yes, where I might be going out into the street to walk, and then a car is like just almost there.
Tonight at 6, we will break down the data on the number of pedestrian crashes downtown. Plus, we're talking with the state's director of safety about the program aimed at pedestrian safety and what additional changes he would like to see downtown. Sarah Kruger, WRAL News in Raleigh.
A Texas judge says Camp Mystic can reopen this year, but all cabins damaged in last year's flood must be preserved. 25 campers and 2 counselors died in the devastating 4th of July flood. The remains of 8-year-old Cecilia Stewart, also called Seal, have not been recovered. Her family is pursuing legal action against the camp and are calling for the owners to preserve the evidence.
They exemplified again profitability over people by not having a plan in place. You would think that would be the first thing that they would expect coming into a hearing like this.
Attorneys for Camp Mystic say they have sympathy for the victims' families, but maintain there was little they could do during last year's floods. More than 850 campers are already signed up to attend Camp Mystic this summer.
Well, there was a lot to cheer about late last night for Canes fans. It was an offensive explosion for the Canes as they were in Vancouver to take on the Canucks. They scored 4 goals in the second period alone as they erased a 2-1 first period deficit. The Canes held off the Canucks in the end, escaping with a 6-4 win. Their next game is tomorrow night at 9 o'clock in Edmonton. All right, swinging over to the WRAL Severe Weather Center, we have Elizabeth Gardner here to talk to you a little bit more about what we are expecting today, tomorrow, the next few days, and what a beautiful but warm day we have, Elizabeth.
Yes, exactly. So I pulled up Apex because usually there are people walking around downtown. I love it on a day like this, try to catch everybody outside, enjoying the beautiful weather, and hopefully you guys will get a chance to get out inside.
Oh, I'll be outside.
Enjoy it too. And the thing about it that's great is if you can't do it today, it's okay. We have more of it in our forecast until we get to Sunday, and that's when things begin to change. 73 degrees is our current temperature. Our wind is out of the southwest at 16, so it's a bit breezy out there, but that southwesterly wind is what's bringing that warmth in. And on that camera from Apex, you can see some cloud cover. We do have some high, thin clouds as our flow is coming up out of the southwest. Not only is it bringing warmth, but a little bit of moisture too, so just a touch on the humid side. Today's the day that the drought monitor comes out. We saw very little change. Most of the viewing area is still under severe drought there in orange, extreme there in red, from Rocky Mounts all the way up through almost to Roanoke Rapids. So I guess we've seen some of the extreme drought shrink ever so slightly. And then some of our south and western counties, from Chatham County down to Hoke County, have gone back to moderate drought. So that was encouraging to see. As long as we can keep this pattern going that we changed just recently, then we'll end up being okay. Take a look at this. January and February were February was the first month that we had nearly normal rainfall at 3 inches. You look at that, for the last 6 months, we've had drier than normal conditions, and this makes it the second driest 6 months on record. So this is not something that we normally see, but encouraging in February as we've started to see a little bit more rain. And that shows up in our past 30 days. This is our percent of normal rainfall in the last 30 days. And look at this, just back to our west, parts of Moore County, parts of Chatham County have finally seen near normal rainfall. And most of our area is anywhere from around 75 to 85% of normal for the last 30 days. So we're getting there, but it will be a slow process. This cold front will help us somewhat. We're on the south side of the warm front, so we have very warm temperatures in our forecast for the next several days, but we'll focus on rain for now. Tomorrow, Saturday morning, I keep thinking it's Friday. Saturday morning will be cloudy, and it'll be cloudy for most of the day, potentially a few breaks in the clouds on Saturday afternoon. Right now, Saturday looks nice and dry. The cold front arrives late Sunday. So Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, we're still dry, even early afternoon. So if you do have plans to be out on Sunday, Sunday's not going to be a washout. By the time we get to around 5 o'clock, that front gets closer to us, and then we see a few cells popping up. This could produce some severe storms. By tomorrow, we'll know if we're under a level 1 or 2 risk from the Severe Storm Prediction Center. But right now, it looks like Sunday evening, we see a line of storms that come through, and possibly that will linger into Monday. That front could stall and continue to help to bring some showers into the area. This is our severe threat for Saturday. It's well to the west as the front gets closer to us, but it's Sunday that we'll see that front coming through. I'm showing you that just to show you at least the day before, when the front's coming through the mountains, there is a level 1 risk. Right now we have a 40% chance of rain on Sunday and a 30% chance on Monday. How much rainfall? Probably going to be around ½ an inch or so. So planning your weekend, 83 for tomorrow. It looks lovely. 82 Saturday, 78 on Sunday. So even though we'll see a bit of a change in our weather pattern, it does stay nice and warm really all the way into next week. Also, don't forget Saturday night, we set our clocks ahead 1 hour. We go back to daylight time.
Okay, Elizabeth, thank you. We need it.
No, we lose in that hour. We don't need that.
But we have longer, sunnier days.
Okay, fair.
We have more news just ahead now. Breaking boundaries and inspiring the next generation of girls. Barbie announces its first ever Dream Team, highlighting the contributions of women around the world. A look at who made that list.
And we do have a look at your winning Powerball numbers right here on your screen. 7, 14, 42, 47, and 56. The Powerball is 6. The Power Play multiplier is 4. Well, as we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines that we're following for today. We are following breaking news in Durham. 2 students are hurt after a fight at Hillside High School. Sky 5 was above that scene in the last hour. It's unclear, though, we do know, I should say, that the fight involved pepper spray and EMS was called. We are waiting to get more details about what's specifically happened here.
And in the next 5 minutes, Durham City leaders will discuss the issue of the sewage system being at full capacity. This is causing delays on a development in East Durham to fix hundreds of housing units. And now it's not expected to happen for years. WRAL Investigates broke this story last month. Updating the system that's already full could cost $3 million. This work session starts at 1 p.m.
A Raleigh firefighter and Marine veteran is facing charges after being forcibly removed from a Senate committee for anti-war protests at the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday. 44-year-old Brian McGinnis is charged with assault on a police officer and resisting arrest. McGinnis is a Green Party Senate candidate, and Capitol Police say that he and 3 officers were hurt during this. Protests are not allowed inside congressional buildings.
International Women's Day is Sunday, and Barbie is making and marking it with a new collection of dolls. Mattel says the Dream Team lineup honors female pioneers from around the world. Tennis legend Serena Williams and NASA astronaut Kelly Garrotti represents the U.S. The list also includes race car driver Regina Servant Alvarado from Mexico, English soccer star Chloe Kelly, and pop artist Helene Fischer from Germany.
Well, the Brady Bunch house could become a protected historic landmark. L.A. leaders are reviewing a proposal to grant the mid-century modern home cultural monument status. It was featured in the show's opening shots from 1969 to 74. You know, there's a story. You know, fans still visit that home if you didn't know. And HGTV even restored its interior back in 2019.
Well, now it's time for our pet of the day. Meet Asta. This is 1-year-old guy that looks very distinguished. He's full grown, weighing 70 pounds. He's energetic and loves exercise. If you'd like to meet him, you can contact the SPCA of Wake County.
Lost primaries. Some Democratic state lawmakers did that this week. Today on WRAL News at 4, our NC Capitol team explains why that actually is a good thing for Governor Josh Stein.
NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, and your next local news update comes in about 30 minutes.
And don't forget, you can always get your breaking news updates anytime with the WRAL News app and your weather updates with the new WRAL Weather app. Hope you have a blessed day today.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.